In terms of, I guess the sort of mindset that business leaders need to show and demonstrate, and presumably, usually cascades down to their teams and their workforce. What kind of mindset really should, especially in the current climate, business leaders be adopting?
Yeah, and that will be a challenge for every leader that manages, a team, an individual, or a broader company. Is, how do you communicate with people, post virus? And I think the first message that I would certainly be would be sharing is, even though we're so involved and deeply entrenched in this crisis, things will be okay. We will eventually come out of this. I mean, there are many examples in history where there's been major crises, or we've suffered the effects of war, great tragedy, great death tolls, massive impacts on the economy, greater than COVID, and everything has eventually been all right. And I think putting a time frame on that is very difficult, but we will restabilize and we will grow. And I think these situations are also, in a strange way, they motivate a sense of, we want to improve things for the future. So you get a huge amount of, latent energy coming out of these scenarios where, people are putting it into rebuilding, right? If your house has been blown over in a hurricane, once you've coped with the disaster, you have a huge amount of energy to rebuild your house, and you tend to do it 10 times quicker. So I think, using that energy now as a business is going to be really important. But, leaders are going to need to have, really good respect for their employees. They're going to need to be very empathetic. They're going to need to listen. There's going to be an underlying amount of worry and fear and anxiety that is still attached to COVID. Just because people are back at work doesn't mean they're not going to fear still catching the virus. So how do you manage their fear? How do you manage the anxiety? How do you reassure them around the steps that you're taking as a business to make sure that the business still continues to run? And how do you make sure you got the right people to do it? Because if leadership has been exposed during this lockdown and during the COVID period, then you need to deal with that. And the first step is, yes, there is support you can give those leaders, but the first step is for them to be humble and admit their humility and have the self-awareness to understand they didn't have the skill set to lead through the virus impact, and be prepared to do something about it. And when a leader says, I'm prepared to do something about it, I think it's, first of all, it's acceptance, openness to change, and then they can seek people to complement their skills with the right skill set around them, or they can get them, if they've got the resources, they could have a mentor or a coach to help them, or even do self-learning. But so that there's kind of hope for everybody. And just because you maybe didn't lead so great through the virus doesn't mean you can't get back on the horse and learn some new skills. So I think that's going to be critical. But I think businesses have got to have leaders that are willing to adapt their business quickly, be prepared for more disruption potentially, have flexible workforces, flexible resources, and technology is still booming, and solutions through technology are booming. So you need to be able to, change direction quickly, or you will be overtaken. So there's a saying that failure starts with success, and great leaders don't you know, that they always have a dissatisfaction with everything. They never, you know, get overconfident or over arrogant because, you know, about their past achievements, because if they do, you know, they fail to change. And if they fail to change, you know, somebody will come up on the inside rails and overtake you. So, you know, it's really important to remain humble about your business, remain agile, bring the right people in around you, you know, and inspire your people who are going to need some inspiration, you know, but harness the energy that's there. And, you know, I'm convinced there will be energy, because that is the nature of, you know, human beings, that they're looking for solutions. And, you know, good leaders will tap into that, and you know, they'll be the ones who, you know, who get back quicker, you know, by having those skill sets. And like I said earlier, that blend between compassion and performance. And if you can get that, you know, you've got more chance of survival and success.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.